Hello everyone and welcome back to Space Racing. How is everyone? Everyone is hopefully alright. Now we have got a little bit planned today. We hopefully, and I mean hopefully here, we'll be going into space maybe right at the end of this episode, because we've got to build our platform out, you know, in our place over here. We've got to build the platform. And then we gotta get all the more machines, like you see these ones behind me right now. We gotta get more of these ones, and then with those I can then put fuel in the rocket. I can then put cargo in the rocket, and then I've also got to fill up my oxygen gear. So we've still got to do, you know, a little bit with stuff with Galacticraft before we can actually jump straight into space. But there's one quick thing I want to show you, and that is our new dog. Now I just went exploring like I usually do in between episodes. And I came across this dog, and he is the coolest dog ever. Now, we are going to put him out here, because this is where all our animals are, and we are probably going to stick him right here, but we actually need to tame him first. So let me just grab out a few bones, just to be able to tame him. Luckily, we have an abundance of bones, and let's see what, you ready for how cool this guy is? You ready? And let me stick these on the hotbar. Bang! Look at this. He's got glasses on. He's got like, wow, look at this. And then let's see how many does it take? There we go. He's now our dog. And I am going to call this dog, I've just been thinking of names, I'm going to call him Mash. Don't know why, but I just quite like the name actually. So, yeah, he's going to be called Mash. So we jump in and get rid of you. And let's call him Mash. Bang, like this, Mash. I think it's quite a cool name, really, for a dog, maybe. But other than that, you know, I'm pretty happy with this. So let's name him. There we go. His name is Mash, and he's got some cool glasses, because our dog is the coolest dog now ever, aren't you, Mash? Do you want to come over here? Come over here, Mash. And then, you know, you can probably say, oh, hello. Where are you going? Come over here. Over here, Mash. If I hold out a bone, will he come here? Come here, Mash. Okay, you can sit there, and I'll just push you over into this corner. No, not in that corner. I don't want you over there. Come on. Well, you're going there now, Mash. No, he's not. I feel uncomfortable leaving you there. Come on. Come on. Come on. Where are you going? Come on, boy. Come on. Come here, boy. There we go. Right, there we go, Mash, you are now in charge of the horses. And, yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it, with the glasses. I just found him, and I was like, yep, got to have that dog. And then I was thinking of names, and I was like, Mashed Potato? So I called him Mash. Don't know why, just randomly. But, yeah, welcome, everyone, to Mash. Now, let me go into build mode quickly, and we will jump over into our thingamajig, our space port, and we will start building. So let's see what cool patterns we can come up with. Yeah, let's have a little think, and then I'll probably be into build mode, so I'll see you in build mode. Right, I've actually got some bad news for you guys. I completely forgot that in build mode I turn off the sound when I record. So basically, what happens is that I put it onto a different setting so that you don't get any background noise in this build mode. It's just like the game noises. And I forgot to turn that back on after I was finished in build mode. So, yeah, the rest of this video is going to be me voiceovering because I quite simply forgot to turn it back on. So I apologise for that, and I hope that I can do the recording justice by what I'm saying now. So let's get started with let's say what we're doing. So I just said I was going into build mode. So this is the fast forwarding mode that I put in every now and then. And we are just making a pattern for the platform for where our rocket's going to go on, and that's the design I've come up with. So I've got the sort of the base model and the support sorted with the arms outstretched to the back, and then the the bits that then go back towards the other side, like back towards facing inwards, that's going to be where the floor is. So there's just a quick little nice overview of what there is. And now I'm just debating what floor I want. Because I've got iron blocks in my hand, and I was thinking about just having an iron block floor. But then that's just quite samey when it comes to the whole sort of, the whole thing that I've built here, the whole platform. And I don't want it to look too samey. So here I'm just deciding what kind of floor I want. And then I look at scaffold to see if there's like a bit of scaffolding, like a bit of iron scaffold or something that can just make it look like it's kind of built up. So I think that was a good idea, but then when I actually searched, there was nothing there, which is a bit unfortunate. But I do come up with a pretty good solution, because I cut the video and I'm thinking, right, what can I have to be able to put there? And I suddenly had a brainwave. I was like, oh, I know. I can put those chiseled blocks of iron, diamond and gold with the stars and the moon. And I thought, yeah, that would actually be really, really good. But first, I realised that I didn't really like my design. I didn't like these arms being outstretched to the side. Like, I felt that they just didn't fit in with the build. So I got rid of all 4 of them on every side, just to be able to make it look more middly, because I thought with these arms stretched to the end, it took away from the sort of satellite shape that we have in this. I felt like it just didn't fit in along with the satellite. So I also get rid of that little block there as well, just because I think it doesn't quite fit in once we've got these arms off. So yeah, once these are all gone off, I actually start making my floor. And the floor itself is pretty cool, because obviously we're making it out of the blocks that we already have done in the previous rooms, like, you know, with the moon stars and the twinkly stars. But we're actually doing it slightly different, because this whole satellite rocket space station ship port that we're calling it, apparently, because that's the words I just came up with, it's all purple, isn't it? So I actually chisel them into the purple obsidian version rather than the black obsidian version, which is the ones we have in the actual room. And I think this actually makes it look that little bit better now, because obviously the purple matches up with the purple that we have in the other places. And I think that just adds a little bit, it makes it just a little bit nicer when it comes to the finished product. So here I'm just deciding, because in the middle of this platform, we are going to have the, what's it called, where the rocket stands on, the launch pads. That's what we're going to have. And that is a 3x3, which so it's 9 blocks. And so I was thinking that I don't want to waste any materials by having this 9 block made out of the gold, iron or diamonds, because it's just wasted materials because you aren't going to see it. So what I've done is I've just decided to do this 3x3, and then what will happen is basically the launch pad will go on top of this, and then we won't see it. So I get rid of the structure here because I don't think that it looks like, I just realised that I wanted it to be part of the platform here is just part of the sides that are holding it up. So I realised that maybe it could work, it might not, we'll see how it goes. But then I put the moons down in the purple obsidian, and I think the purple obsidian makes it looks so much better than the black obsidian, because it's got so much more of a dynamic, it's got more effect to it, which I think is brilliant. But I realised that I've only got 1 layer left now to put in the twinkly stars. So what I end up doing is getting rid of the corners and the middle, so I basically get rid of every other one, and then replace that with the gold stars, and then that makes it just look a little bit better. And then what I've finished, it's sort of starting to take shape. So what I then do is put the twinkly lights around that then, or the twinkly blocks right around that, and then that is our floor done. However, it does look quite square. So what I end up doing is taking off the corners and just making them more rounded. So here, that's it, and as you can see, it looks quite square. So I'm thinking, it looks fairly square, doesn't look quite right. And yeah, so the launch pad will go there, so I don't have to really worry about that. But then I think, how can we improve this? How can we improve this? So I finally come to the decision of, yep, I do need to cut the corners off to make it more circular. And then let's see if we get started on it. Oh, I think first what we do actually is we create the structure back in the middle, because I think it just looks more like it should be there to hold it all up. So as you can see, there it is, and I think that just adds a little bit better, because it just makes it actually visible that it's being held up. So I thought, yep, got to do that, makes it look better, and now I'm thinking, yep, this looks all good. However, it is still very, very square. So, how can I change that? Right, well, first things first, let us get rid of the corners and replace them with carpenter's blocks. So that's exactly what I end up doing. And as you can see, it makes it look that little bit better now. There's one. And here we go. So there we go. And then we start with the others. And with any luck, you know, I personally think it looks 10 times better. See, it just looks less square, and it just adds a little bit more effect on, which I think is pretty good. So, there we have it. I've also just added those little blocks in the middle there, just to keep it looking less squarey and more, like less blocky and more actual having shapes to it. So I think that looks good. But our satellite dish there, our satellite space station rocket port, is looking pretty good. I think so, if I do say so myself. So, here I just grab the launch pad and the rocket, and then I'm going to go over and stick them down to show you what it looks like. So down goes the launch pad, and it goes into that multi-block structure there, as you just saw. And I'm telling you just exactly how, like with the iron blocks below it, you can't really see it. And then I get shot, annoyingly. So there we go, and then let's just deal with this skeleton, because this is just annoying, and the zombie. And you will see that because I have those there, I actually decide to sort something out later in the episode. But for now, the rocket goes on. And how good does that look? It looks absolutely incredible in my opinion. I really do like how it's come together. With the rocket, with the whole satellite rocket space station port. You know, it looks incredible. And I'm so happy with it. Absolutely thrilled with it, in fact. But before we start anything else now, I've got to quickly clear out the whole inventory. And I don't want to put in the chiseled blocks, because basically it's almost like a waste of material, because in the chiseled block form you can't actually get the materials back out from them. So you just got to unchisel them. And yeah, I'm actually rolling in the riches when it comes to iron. But with my gold and diamonds, I don't actually have that much. So that's why I'm just sorting these out into back to normal shapes, basically, because of the fact that I want to just keep all my materials and keep them all stocked up in our ME system here. Because, I mean, you can see, for bones, coal, the food, the meat ingots, and iron, we're actually alright. But for gold and diamonds, we're actually still struggling. Which is why we are actually going to the moon to begin with, because it can create us more ores. That's how we're going to do it. We're going to do a special kind of quarry in a space station in the middle of space that will create us ores. So keep your eyes forward for that in a few episodes time when we're actually in space. But for now, I've just shown you that my oxygen, I have no oxygen. So I can't survive in space because I have no oxygen. So what I'm doing now is I'm creating an oxygen compressor and a fuel loader, because I have got to supply my rocket with fuel to even come to terms with getting into space. So here I'm just making the parts of the oxygen compressor, and there we go, oxygen compressor done. And now I create the fuel loader right there, because that will actually put fuel into our rocket for us so we can actually fly, because without fuel we can't fly. So then I stick both of them on our sort of on our circle of machines here. And because Galacticraft machines are quite annoying, you can't actually turn where the output and input is on the machines like we can on like, you know, our pulverizers and our furnaces back in our ore production. We can't actually change them like we can. We can't actually change the Galacticraft like we can with the other ones. So here I've put everything down, and I was really confused with why the oxygen compressor wasn't collecting any oxygen. And that's because I realised I also needed an oxygen collector as well, not just a compressor, but a collector as well, because that actually will collect the oxygen, and then we need to transport it into the oxygen compressor, where it compresses all the oxygen down into our tanks. So here's a recipe for the oxygen collector, and the only thing that we don't know how to do is the oxygen fan. Everything else we can do. So look at the recipe for the oxygen fan, and it is actually extremely simple. And there we go. What we're doing is now we're just going to create it. However, we are running out of steel. So what I end up doing is taking a little bit of a hiatus where I just make more steel and then compress it all down. So, when's the cut? In a couple of seconds, hopefully. Hopefully, any day today. There we go. So, there we go. I've now, cut back in and I've got all the steel. And we make the oxygen, oh, is that what's that one? I can't even remember what that one is. Concentrator. And then we put that all together. Oh no, we're making the fan now, aren't we? Wait for it. There we go. And then I look at the recipe for the compressor, and I just had it a little bit wrong on our little fan. And there we go, oxygen collector. So that I put on the fuel loader here, just connect it up to all the power. And there you can see it. It is actually collecting oxygen. So that's really good. And then we got to figure out a way now of transporting it to the oxygen compressor, where we actually put in our oxygen tank. Now this is quite simply done with oxygen pipe, which was extremely easy to make. It was just using glass panes on the top and bottom of the crafting table. And so yeah, really easy. It goes out the output, goes in the input, and then in the oxygen compressor it will then store. Oh no, we put our tank in the oxygen compressor and it will store in the tank, sorry. So I just walk into the chest over here, grab out our oxygen pipes. Don't actually have enough of the oxygen pipes. But what I'm trying to be cheeky here is if I can just stick it straight in the middle without it having to connect to the output and the input, because I was having a bit of a dumb moment and it doesn't work. So I then realised, yep, I got to put it around the sides from the output. Go make more with my glass panes that are already in there. Just like so. And then we can connect it all up. Just like that. And then we look in our oxygen compressor and it is completely full already. And our oxygen storage is already completely full again. So, bring out one tank, fill it up, and then there we go, it is filling up. So we do now have oxygen that we can breathe in space. However, it takes for ages to fill it up. So we just cut out and then cut back in once they are both filled up. Any second now. There we go. So now they are both full, which is brilliant because technically we can now go to space and we can breathe. However, we still don't have fuel, so we'll get that done in the next episode. But for now, we've got our basic machine set up. And now, however, I completely forgot earlier in the episode to do something I wanted to do with this satellite, what's it called? Satellite Space Rocket Station port. And so that is, you know how you see in films, and one film it twigs my memory is Transformers, is that when they go into like the big military hangar, they have spikes all over the floor for like top security, or like basically to stop things from being able to travel in it. And that is the look that I wanted to go for here as well. I wanted these spikes, and we have iron spikes in the mod, so I decided to make some of these and see what we can do with it. Now, the good thing about these spikes is that that they actually harm mobs. But unlike other things that harm mobs, they don't actually destroy the items that drop. So you can actually use these iron spikes as a really, really good mob farm. However, we are just using them as decoration. We've got plenty of iron, plenty of wood for sticks, so we're not actually wasting wasting a lot of materials. We are completely fine with materials. So I pop over and I just start sticking them on like this. See, as you can see, I just got hurt then. And then putting them around, they actually go sideways as well, which I didn't realise. Like you see here, they can actually go sideways, and I was like, oh, okay. Not quite what I wanted for this decoration, but you know, it's always a cool thing. So we're nearly done now. We're getting through it. But I actually end up being a few short here, so I have to go make more. But I actually make too many for the gap that we leave short. So the good thing about that is that I was actually managed to put 4. I end up with 4 excess. So these next 4 I end up putting on the rocket platform itself. Because I think the rocket platform also needs some decoration and some beefed up security. So once again, I'm just popping back because I haven't got enough. Make some more iron saws. And then there we go, we now have enough. See, there we go. We now got the spikes. And now we are just going to stick the last ones on. Right here. Just like so. Perfect, right? However, this basically is now coming to the end of the episode. We, I think, so I do, once again, I apologise for the recording, because it was slightly messed up, because I forgot to turn the voice back on. But, you know, I've tried to keep you in the loop of what's been happening throughout the episode. Hopefully, I've remembered it well myself. But yeah, those are the little final spikes we put down, just to be able to make it look a little bit, you know, more decorative. However, I might move the spikes in between the little gaps where the platform is being held up, just in case they look better there or not. I'm not really 100% sure yet, but yeah. So what you got to look forward to next episode is us being able to fuel the rocket, hopefully, because we need to also get a refinery to be able to refine oil into fuel, and then we need to put it in the we need to put it in the whatchamajig. We need to put it in the rocket, and then yeah, all is good. So thank you very much for watching. Once again, I apologise for the recording, but hopefully I've done alright, and I shall see you in the next episode. See you then.